Welcome to the Communication Diva Podcast, episode 128. Today on the podcast, 11 habits of happy, productive, and healthy people. Well, okay. I guess if you're into that sort of thing.
Hey out there, this is Jen Swanson, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of the Communication Diva Podcast, where I help you to get the job, to love your work, and to advance your career. I wanted to start off today by thanking you for all the sharing. The show has just had a bump in listeners this past month, and I know it's because some of you have been taking the time to share it. So to those of you who have done so, a huge thank you. And if you haven't had the chance yet, please take a quick moment to do that, as the more people I can reach and help with this content, the better. So it's been fun to be watching the numbers rise this month, and it seems to have been rising quite a bit. So I'm very happy about that. Today's topic is one that is popular all over the place. I've seen it in magazines, I've seen it in online publications, and I've just seen it in different places in general, and I think it's because it's what we want to be, I think, right? I think we want to be happy, we want to be productive, we want to be healthy, and sometimes we get one out of the three of those things. Sometimes we get two out of the three of those things. Wouldn't it be great to get all three of those things lined up? So I think we think a secret formula will help us get there or something. If we just follow the steps, then presto, we will be happy and productive and healthy. I've got a few questions before I start looking at the steps that I've put together for you. And I think it takes more than just looking at the steps and reading them or listening to them. I think it takes actually executing them. But I have a few questions that I've a couple of questions anyways, to ask you that you may wish to ponder first before you get into the actual habits that these happy, healthy, productive people have. And they're big questions. So if you've got a journal and you're into journaling, you might want to get your journal and write these questions out and take some time after to sit and think about the questions. And if you don't have a journal or you don't like to journal, maybe even if you just take your coffee or something and go somewhere to think, do it, because often we don't get the time to think. Maybe we don't make time or take time to just sit and think. I think that's a lost art for many. I know there are some people that do it and that make it a priority, but for many, many, many of us, we don't give ourselves that opportunity to just sit and think and imagine and dream. We seem to have wanted to fill up every waking moment with content, with activity. And that actually is less productive than if you take the time to ponder or to think a little bit. Undistracted, unconnected to technology, maybe outside in nature, unplugged, right? So here are my questions. My first one is, when will you know that you've reached happy? What are the ingredients that make up your happy recipe? Because we're all different, with different values and different beliefs and different goals. So what is your particular recipe that once you've got all the ingredients assembled will allow you to say, there, I'm happy? That's my first question. And that's a big question. And again, it's going to be different for each of you. And so if you take some time to think about that, when will I be able to say, yeah, I am a happy person? That's the first question. I told you these were big questions. The second question is, what does productivity look like to you? Is it a numbers thing? If I get 3 things done or 12 things accomplished today, I will have had a productive day. By the time you fall onto your pillow at night, what will have had to have happened for you to be able to say, wow, I had a really productive day today? That's my question. What does productivity look like to you? And again, it's going to be different for each person, but it's good to define this so that you can say with confidence, I had a productive day. I am a productive person. What does that mean? And the third question, and you can guess where I'm going, I'm sure. My third question is, what is it going to take for you to get healthy? Maybe you already are and you're happy with it. Maybe you have some work to do in that area. What is one small step that you can take today toward getting healthy? That's my third question for you. What is one thing you can change, alter, add, delete from your day today towards getting to that place where you feel that you are a healthy person? Might be getting more sleep. It might be skipping the soda or the pop, as we say in Canada. It might be adding a walk in at lunch. It might be actually going to the gym that you've paid a membership for and stopped going to. So what is it? Whatever it is for you, what is that one thing you can do today that will start you on that road to being a healthier person? Okay, my mini coaching session is complete. And yes, I am a trained coach in case that's of interest. You can come to the website for more information. But let's get into the 11 habits of healthy, productive, happy people. Number 1, know your purpose. What are you on this planet to do? What is the why behind what it is that you are doing? Where does your passion lie? Where are you naturally drawn to in the life that you lead? You might already know this. You might need to work on figuring this out. It took me a really, really long time to figure out what lights my fire, what makes my eyes water with tears of joy. And I'm really not kidding here, because my eyes leak at, sentimental commercials, at children singing, at, it doesn't matter. My eyes seem to leak. And I heard someone this past weekend say that from his tradition, his place in Taiwan, when the eyes water, they call it healing waters. And I thought that was beautiful. So yes, I have many healing waters. So what makes your eyes water with tears of joy? What I'm passionate about is seeing other people succeed. And I've been told that I have the spiritual gift of encouragement in my teaching, in my ministry, in my podcasting, in my coaching and speaking. In every single thing that I do, I encourage others to step up and to shine. And to use their gifts and their skills and their talents and get brave and to know that they can do it with a little guidance and a little help and a little encouragement and a little love. So what about you? What is your inner why? Once you are aligned with that in all that you do, absolutely amazing things will happen. Believe me. Number 2 is surround yourself with people who are aligned with your goals and your vision. It's really not helpful to waste time with toxic or negative people who don't believe in you or who put you down on a regular basis or who scoff or laugh at your hopes and your dreams. So reassess your tribe, those people that you consider your inner circle, and see if there is some weeding out to do. And I may have told you this story before, but I have a friend who quite literally fired a whole group of her friends because one day she realized that they weren't really her friends at all. They just liked her hospitality, and they were taking advantage of her open door and her stocked refrigerator. And her very handsome husband, who they all sat around drinking her beer and waiting for him to come home so they could chat with him. And they didn't really care about her. And this dawned on her after many months of this happening. And in a bold and determined move, she actually told them she was firing them. And she used those words. And she told them why. And now I would likely have trouble being that assertive, but I have stopped seeing certain people who drained me of energy and who were not at all positive about what I wanted to do and what I wanted to work on. And maybe you've had this experience as well. So hang out with people who inspire you. Hang out with people who make you laugh. Hang out with people who you would like to be more like. Hang out with people who teach you life lessons and who encourage you to grow. Now, you might not be able to do much about relatives. You might have a relative or two that drives you up the wall, but you certainly can choose your friends. So choose wisely and do an assessment of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And it might be time to go and make some new friends. I don't know. Number 3 is choose to commit to your plans and goals and then do that. Do them. Take risks. Stretch yourself a little bit. In my book, What They See, How to Stand Out and Shine in Your New Job, I have a whole chapter at the end that's a bonus chapter called the 30-Day Risk Challenge, where I invite people to do something every single day for 30 days that is outside of their normal pattern or routine or comfort zone. Not wild or irresponsible risks. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about small risks that they normally might not take. Talk to a stranger at the bus stop, if normally that would scare you or intimidate you, that kind of thing. Try doing something you normally wouldn't do. Eat something you normally wouldn't try at a restaurant. Read articles or magazines that you're not really interested in to see if you can learn something new. Take a class in something that you know nothing about. Growth comes in all sorts of ways, and so challenge yourself to grow as you execute your plans and as you move toward your bigger goals. Number 4 is use your calendar. Successful and productive people schedule everything, including their downtime. So once it's in your calendar, you then have to stick to it. Schedule time for reading, schedule time for listening to podcasts, schedule time for walking outside or for working out or for taking in a movie or having a date with your spouse or your partner. Yes, there is always room for spontaneity, and I love being spontaneous. But the majority of the time, having a schedule will prevent wasting time figuring out what you're supposed to be doing next, which will allow you to rest or play when it's time for that. And one of the things that I used to do when my kids were little, and we've sort of gotten back to doing it now, but not in a really committed way, so we have to work on that, is figuring out a menu plan in advance, figuring out for the month what we're going to have for dinner so that we're not asking the question every day, what are we going to make for dinner? And so if we found a few recipes that people like and we've got a few things in the calendar schedule, then it's really easy to go to the calendar and say, oh, today we're going to have, veggie stir fry with edamame or whatever it happens to be. So then we have the recipe, we know what we need to get, and we're able to prepare that without wasting a whole bunch of time trying to figure that out. Because when you're busy, who has time for that, right? So it actually, the structure, the scheduling, the putting things in the calendar gives you more time and gives you more freedom because you don't spend a lot of time futzing about wondering what it is you're supposed to be doing. Number 5, routines rule. Habits. Any habits, but I'm focusing on good habits here, take at least 30 days to develop and are simply patterns. While sometimes changing those up is a good thing, like choosing another route to work or wearing a color that you never normally wear, routines can also be very productive. So take time. This is in your pondering time. Take time to identify your habits. What are your daily routines? And decide what you want to keep and what you might change to make things more efficient. Do you need to get up an hour earlier so that you aren't running late and stressed out because you don't have enough time to get yourself out the door in the morning? Do you want to get up before everyone else does to have your reading time or your podcast listening time or your workout, meditation, time for you? Do you need to do that? Or is it late at night when everyone goes to bed that you take the time to be productive and to work on the things that you want to work on? Routines can be really helpful. And so take a look at your habits and your routines and which ones of them are helpful and which ones of them you would like to perhaps change. Okay, number 6 is take action each day. Take steps each and every day toward your big picture goals. It doesn't matter if it's simply making one phone call or looking for a lost file or reading an article or listening to a podcast on how to do something or what, but take at least one. if not more, but at least one step each day, every single day. And you will be amazed that by the end of the week, you will be that much closer to your goal. I actually asked if we could get a whiteboard for my office here, and because we had to move some things around, and we've got one now installed, and I'm about to use it today to make some plans. And I'm a visual person, so it's really helpful. And I have lists everywhere, and the lists get lost, and they're small, and they're in the bottom of my briefcase or wherever. But if I have everything written on a whiteboard, then I'm going to be able to visually see what I have to do next, and it'll be very satisfying to wipe it off when it's done. So I'm excited about it's silly, right? The little things, but I'm excited about this new whiteboard that will help me to be more organized and to take action every single day. Number 7 is to look after yourself. Healthy, happy, and productive people eat mostly nutritious and non-toxic food and exercise regularly, even if it's a walk around the block or a weeding session in your garden. Breathing fresh air regularly is so good for you. Looking after your body, what you put into it and how often you move it makes a difference to everything. And that old saying goes, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And isn't that the truth? There are so many people that I know that are not able to do things anymore or do the things they wanted to do because they have health issues and they're unwell. And a lot of these issues might have been able to be prevented had they started looking after their health a little bit earlier in life. So take a look at your health and look after yourself, and try and take some steps toward becoming the most healthy you can be. Number 8, think of others. Work collaboratively. Give back by volunteering or by helping people, or even by giving credit and encouragement to those who need it. And thinking of others also includes things like saying no when you need to and saying yes when you can, especially when it aligns with your purpose, because no one is going to be served by you saying yes and then complaining and grumbling about it when you really didn't want to do something, when you wanted to say no. In the end. So be assertive. And there's a whole podcast about that. One of the recent episodes that I put out there on being assertive, I think it was the last one, episode 127. But being able to say no is actually thinking of others sometimes. If you consider your attitude and how you will be feeling, and how you'll be treating other people if you say yes when you really should have said no. We are all connected in the end, and we need each other in order to truly succeed. So think teamwork, think connection with other people and other creatures and other beings on this planet. And successful, happy, and productive people think collaboratively for the most part. Number 9 is practice gratitude. Count your blessings. Say thank you more often. Appreciate the good things rather than focusing so much on what is wrong or negative or lacking. Count your blessings at the end of each day. There's one fellow in my congregation who answers the same way every time I ask him how he is that morning. So I'll say, "How you doing this morning, Bill?" He's 94, and he always says, "I woke up this morning. It's a great day." And I love that attitude. As the cliche goes, adopt an attitude of gratitude. And he does. Every morning that he wakes up at that age is a good day, which is a wonderful way to think about things. Number 10 is have some fun. Take care of your spirit, whatever that means for you. And do think of the spiritual side of your being. If you pray, take some time to pray. If you meditate, take some time to meditate. If you practice yoga, take that time to do that. It might be that you're out in nature. It might be that you're cuddling your pet. All of those things are looking after your spirit. Laughing, that real belly laugh kind of laughing, with friends or at something that is amusing is really good for you. Sing, dance, do something that feeds your spirit, and that it might not sound like it's productive, but really people who are grounded and who feed their spirit are happier and more productive and healthier, I would dare to say. Schedule time for this. It might be getting intimate with your partner. That's good for your spirit too. Light candles to calm your mood. Go outside and play. Schedule time in for this so that you actually do it, because it's just as important, if not more important than working is. And sometimes this piece of having fun and looking after you and your spirit ends up getting shoved down to the bottom of the list, and then time runs out, and guess what? There's no time for fun. And that's not good. That's not cool. Fun is essential to being a happy, healthy, and productive person. So that was number 10. And the last one is number 11. Unplug sometimes. Sleep lots. Take naps if you need to, or just rest with no devices involved. The world will not end if your phone is off for a while. And I know that's hard to believe because I'm pretty darn attached to my phone as well, so I get it. But truly, unplug and be where you are. Scott and I were away for a few days recently at a resort where there are hot springs feeding into lovely pools. And we spent we actually spent a lot of time lounging about in the pools. They're outside pools. So you get the fresh air and the birds going by and the mountains in the background. And it's an absolutely gorgeous setting. And it's a place that you just go and flop, right? And just rest. So you bring your book, you just, sit by the fire. One night we went dinner dancing. It's just a lovely place to just go for a couple of days, 3 days or so, and relax. Well, I was sitting in the pools one day, and there was this couple sitting in the pool, and each of them was busy on their cell phones in the swimming pool, or the hot springs. They were a young couple, and at first he had his phone out, and she didn't have hers, but he wasn't talking to her. He was doing whatever he was doing on his phone. So next thing you know, she's got hers out. I sure hope they were in waterproof cases because it looked a little precarious, but they're sitting there in the water on phones. And they're not paying attention to the beautiful mountains, and they're not paying attention to the breeze and the air that's going by and the birds and the surroundings. They're busy communicating or doing whatever they were doing with other people on their phones. And I thought, what was the point? They might as well have been in their room inside, because anyway, I didn't get it. It was kind of sad, actually. And if I had been braver, I might have taken a picture, because it would have made a really good blog post picture. But be with those you are with in that undistracted, unplugged way. And if you're by yourself, be with yourself, because you might actually enjoy it. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm still working on my interview skills course, and I'm actually currently looking for beta testers. So if you are interested in getting in on the course before it's available to anyone else at a steeply discounted price, with the understanding that you will provide me with a feedback and testimonials that I can then use to improve the course, then I'd like you to send me your name and contact info and put beta test course in the subject line, and I'll reach out to you when it's ready and invite you to try it at a big discount. The course is for people who have not interviewed in a while or in a long time. So it's getting people ready to go to a job interview for people who have not done that for a really long time. And even if you have done it, there are things that you would be able to learn in it. So if this is you and you want to experience the course in its beta phase, let me know and I'll pop you in there. If you're listening to this later in June 2017 or beyond, the beta phase may be over and the course will already be up. But if you're listening today tomorrow. It's going to come out June 1st. If you're listening to this in the first part of June, send me an email, jenn@communicationdiva.com, and put in the subject line beta test course. And I will find that email and I'll put you in my list. And when the time comes, I will send you the coupon code and get you into the course to give me some feedback, to test it out, and to let me know what you think. So, my friends, thank you for tuning in. My name is Jen Swanson. I hope this has been useful for you. And until next time, be good to yourself.